Member for Abbotsford West.
Thanks, Mr. Speaker. My question is for the Attorney General, and it relates to the police investigation that we now know is taking place into the activities of the Drug Users Liberation Front. That's an investigation, of course, that relates to allegations of illegal drug trafficking, tracing significant amounts of public dollars used to acquire and distribute cocaine, heroin, methamphetamines. The investigation stems from funding approvals made by at least 3 ministers in the government. I'm going to come back to the absurdity of the comments we've heard about when the government learned or purported to learn about this. Come back to that in a moment. My concern right now is, given the kinds of comments we have heard from members of the government sympathetic to the activities of the Drug Users Liberation Front, the direct involvement of members of the government, will the Attorney General agree that when the report to Crown Counsel that will emerge from this police investigation is presented to a prosecutor for consideration of charges, it cannot possibly be a prosecutor within the government and within the Attorney General's ministry? Will the Attorney General confirm that a special prosecutor has been appointed, and if not, why not?
Attorney General.
Thanks for the question, Mr. Speaker. I'm not going to comment here in the House on any form of investigation that the police are doing, and the member knows that that's not an appropriate forum for this conversation. But what I will say is that I find it really troubling that the opposition is politicizing an issue that's costing 13,000 people to die in British Columbia to this date. The opioid crisis is hitting communities across this province, that they would use this issue to make cheap political shots.
Members, calm down, calm down. Members, calm down. Calm down. Member supplemental.
Thanks, Honourable Chair. I don't know that I have ever heard an Attorney General make the observation that it is inappropriate for an official opposition to pose questions about criminal activity in the province of British Columbia. You know, we are confronted by the absurdity of members of the government saying, oh, we only learned about this last month. Well, the attorney was the chair of a committee that over a year ago heard evidence, quote, Dolph is buying drugs from the dark web, having them checked, boxing them up, and letting people have them. I mean, it's absurd what the government is trying to peddle in terms of what it knew and when. But my question, again, to the attorney, the Office of Special Prosecutor was created specifically for the purpose that the public could have the confidence that in circumstances where there might be a reasonable perception of bias, investigations involving people within government, involving politicians, that someone would come from outside of the ministry, and it has happened frequently, to be appointed to make a decision around charge approvals. Again, my question to the attorney, has a special prosecutor been appointed in this case? And if not, why not?
Attorney General.
Mr. Speaker, I did chair the Select Committee, Standing Committee on Health. It was a committee that was called upon by the member for Prince George Valemount, for the leader of the third party, because thousands of people in this province are dying by the toxic drug supply. Mr. Speaker, we took our job seriously. I'm proud of the work that we did across parties. Very rarely is there a space in this building where we work across party lines to come up with resolutions. Every member, including the member from Surrey White Rock, including the member from Priest River North, showed up to that committee, open-minded, understanding what people are experiencing and feeling in this province, and people on the front line that were giving us their thoughts about what they thought the government should do to address this crisis. Mr. Speaker, we gave recommendations to that government. 13,000 people have died in this province
Member,
from this issue, and again, I find it shameful that they're using the work of that committee for cheap political points.
member for Surrey South. Please be careful in your comments. Member for Abbotsford West, supplemental.
I actually don't doubt that members of the committee took their duties responsibly, took them seriously. I am certain of it. I am certain of it. I'm asking the Attorney General to take her responsibility today seriously, to discharge her responsibility today as Attorney General. Crown Counsel Act empowers her in circumstances where it is abundantly clear that there might be reasonably a perception of bias to ensure that a special prosecutor is appointed. Not only does she avoid answering that basic fundamental question, she demeans it by suggesting it is somehow inappropriate. Mr. Speaker, third time, I'll give her the chance. Has the special prosecutor been appointed to oversee the charge approval process in this matter? And if not, why not?
Attorney General.
Mr. Speaker, I will comment again that I'm not going to speak in this House about criminal proceedings or investigations that are happening, and the member knows that this is not the forum for that. But I will say again, I find it troubling that when we are doing work in this House that is listening to British Columbians and understanding their perspectives to solve very important issues that are happening in this province, that side wants to politicize it. That side wants to make it about very cheap political shots instead of saving lives in this province. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.